Okay, so let's get this video over with.
The God of gods!
Okay, so what's good? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about this microphone that's in front of my face. This is the HyperX Quadcast. It comes in this really fancy box. Actually, as at the time of making this video, HyperX has actually released a new version of this microphone that has USB-C and has RGB as opposed to the red LED. In this video, I'm basically going to review this microphone, tell you all my thoughts about it, and tell you what the differences are with the Quadcast S, and I will make my recommendations on which one you should actually buy, depending on your needs and your budget and, how much money you have to spend, I guess. So, let's talk about it. Speaking about the frequency response for this microphone, it has a frequency response range of 20 Hz to 20 kHz. It has 4 different pickup patterns. It's going to give you stereo, bidirectional, which is a bi pickup pattern pretty much. It's going to give you omnidirectional, and it's going to give you a cardioid pickup pattern. So you have a pickup pattern pretty much for every different type of, use case that you want to use this microphone for. So first things first, let's talk about the unboxing experience with this microphone. Packaging wise, this microphone is second to none. It comes in this really decent looking box that looks like something out of a movie. Honestly, it looks really fancy, and HyperX did a fantastic job with the packaging for this microphone. Now, when you actually open up the box for this microphone, you're basically going to be getting the microphone itself attached to the stand that it comes with, which I have basically detached for the purposes of this video because I wanted to have the microphone on a boom arm so that, it could be directly in front of my face and, I could get like better audio that way because I am a relatively tall person and using the table stand would have just been a little uncomfortable for me because I would have had to bend my head and stuff like that. I didn't really want to do that. Anyways, yes, so in the unboxing experience, you basically get the microphone itself attached to the base, just sitting there inside of the microphone. You're going to get the USB cable. It's a USB-A to micro USB cable that basically plugs into the back of the microphone, and you can plug that directly to your computer and get audio coming straight out of this. Aside that, you're going to get some paperwork, which is basically going to be a quick start guide, and it tells you everything that this microphone offers and everything that it can do. And another pamphlet basically that tells you about other HyperX products that you can pretty much get or buy alongside this HyperX Quadcast, and that is pretty much it as far as I can remember. Now, moving away from the unboxing experience for this microphone, let's actually talk about the physical bits and the features of the microphone. The first thing that basically jumps out at you with this microphone is going to have to be the red LED, and it might look fancy. It does make the microphone look nicer, but it's not just there to make the microphone look nice. It's actually functional and it serves a purpose. Now, on the top of the microphone, you have a mute button, which is basically the first thing that you see. And that mute button is basically married to this red LED. So when you tap it, it basically goes off. When you tap it again, the microphone unmutes and you can tell that you're actually recording. That is super functional, especially for people who are gamers or people who want to record podcasts but want to be able to mute quickly in case there's stuff going on around them, or they want to have other conversations with your speakers or co-hosts or whatever. You can very quickly mute your microphone without having to mess up your recording or whatever that is. Now, the microphone is sitting inside of this shock mount that basically has this red ribbon thing going on around it, and it basically holds it in place. And moving to the bottom of the microphone, you're basically going to get this it's a volume knob, but it's not a volume knob. It's basically the entire bottom of the microphone rotating to be able to increase and decrease the volume. I'll show you. So basically, I am reducing the volume now to the very first level, and I am moving to the second level, and now the third level, which is about where I've been recording this entire video. And you can go all the way up to the fifth level, which is going to be super loud, probably too loud. And then you can go all the way to the end of the microphone, which is probably going to clip. I wouldn't use the microphone this way because it's just going to be too loud basically, and there's going to be a lot of clipping in my audio. Now, moving on from that, on the back of the microphone, you're basically going to get an headphone jack, which you can use for zero latency monitoring, so you can listen to your audio in real time as you're recording. And on the bottom of that, you get the USB micro port where the USB cable basically goes in and passes the audio into your computer. Now, beyond that, you're basically going to get a knob. It's a 4-pattern knob that basically gives you the option to change the polar pattern basically for this microphone. The microphone gives you 4 polar patterns. You get stereo, you get cardioid, you get bidirectional, and you get omnidirectional. So basically stereo is going to be picking up everything to the left and the right, basically, so a stereo mix. You get omnidirectional, which is basically going to be picking up everything around you, pretty much. And you're going to get bidirectional, which is basically going to be taking audio from the front and the back of the capsule. And you're also going to get a cardioid pickup pattern, which is what I'm using right now. And it basically picks up audio in a pattern like this that basically captures everything in front of the microphone and pretty much rejects everything behind it, and so on and so forth. Now, I am going to stop this recording right now, and I am going to switch over to recording in stereo mode so that I can flex all the different polar patterns for this microphone so that you can hear what they sound like. Alright, so I have basically switched over to recording in stereo on my DAW. As you can probably hear already, I have just switched over to the stereo pickup pattern, and this is super useful for ASMR stuff or audio recordings where you want the audience to be able to get a sense of what side or what place in the room you actually are. So as you can hear right now, my hand is on the right side and now it's on the left side. So there's going to be a difference in the volume of the microphone basically, and the part of the microphone that you're hearing in your headphones right now is going to be a little different. And it should give you a sense of what this microphone would sound like when you're using it in stereo mode. Now I am basically going to reach to the back of the microphone and change the polar pattern pretty much. Now, this is what the omnidirectional pickup pattern sounds like. This is basically picking up audio from everywhere, so you should be getting pretty much around the same signal no matter where I move my head pretty much. It's going to sound... I'm sorry if the autofocus is going off crazy right now. Basically, I am just trying to show you what the omnidirectional sounds like. And now we're back to the cardioid pickup pattern that I was using when I was recording in mono pretty much. This polar pattern basically gives you a chance pretty much to record in like voiceover mode pretty much. So if you were doing like a podcast or you were trying to do voiceovers, this is the polar pattern that I would personally use or recommend that you use. And this is probably the polar pattern that a lot of people are going to leave their Quadcast permanently on, honestly. Moving on from that, you're basically going to get the bilateral or the bidirectional pickup pattern, which is this. So it's picking up audio from the front and it's picking up audio from the back of the microphone. So you can basically use that when you have two people sitting opposite each other and you want to use one microphone to capture the audio for both people. That would be like super useful in my opinion. So moving on from the physical bits and the stuff that this microphone offers, let's actually talk about before we do that, I actually think we need to switch over back to the cardioid pickup pattern so that, I can get the best audio quality out of this microphone. All right, so now we're back to the cardioid pickup pattern, and basically, now you should be getting a sense of what this microphone can sound like for voiceovers and for podcasts and stuff like that. Now, for this video, I have not edited any of the audio that you're listening to. I have not EQ'd, I have not compressed, I have not done any of that. If I have boosted the volume of the audio so that it can be more audible in post, I will leave it in the bottom of the video basically so that you can see any amount of volume boost I have given this audio. Again, no EQ, no compression, no DRSing, nothing. This is literally the raw audio from this microphone to your ears, and that's about it. I have done nothing to this audio. So speaking of the differences between the Quadcast and the Quadcast S that was just released a couple weeks ago or a week ago thereabouts, the HyperX Quadcast itself basically has just the red LED for the mute button, but the Quadcast S actually has this RGB thing going for it, and you can actually change the colors on the RGB with the software that HyperX now provides, which I think is really nice. And speaking about the price-wise, it's only about $25 thereabouts more than the HyperX Quadcast, which I think is an absolute steal. So if you can actually afford it, like the extra $20 at a price of around $159, I think you should get the Quadcast S, because that might actually slot into your setup if you're somebody who already uses RGB on your setup and stuff like that. Another major difference between the Quadcast S and the HyperX Quadcast is the fact that the micro USB port on the back of the Quadcast basically changes to a USB-C port on the Quadcast S. And I think that is really helpful because now you can pretty much use any cable that you have lying around in your studio or in your house. If you manage to, I don't know, damage your cable, you don't have to worry about trying to buy another cable or finding the right cable. You can pretty much just use any USB-C cable, which is a win in my opinion. But beyond the RGB and the USB-C, it's pretty much the exact same microphone. There's really no other differences aside maybe the red ribbon on the shock mount that changes to a gray ribbon on the shock mount for the Quadcast S, and that's about it. So ultimately, what do I think about this microphone? For $139, which is what I paid for this microphone, it sounds fantastic. Now, chances are you may not be able to find this microphone to buy for $139. See, because for many months I've wanted to buy this microphone myself, but I just couldn't find it to buy because there was a lot of price gouging going on since the advent of the global pandemic. Pretty much a bunch of people bought up these microphones and started selling them at ridiculous prices. There were times when I was seeing this microphone sell for $500 on eBay. It was ridiculous. But if you're lucky and you're able to find this in stock in like Best Buy or on Amazon, you should be able to get it for the original price of $139.99 before tax. So I wouldn't advise you to buy it if it's more expensive than that. Just go ahead and buy the Quadcast S, which is only $20 more, and you can actually be sure that HyperX is going to keep that one in stock because it's their newer model, and because that one was coming out is probably why they did not restock a lot of the HyperX Quadcast in the first place. So you don't have to worry about the stock running out, and you can just go ahead and buy that one instead. As you can probably already hear from the audio quality on this microphone, it sounds fantastic. So it's never going to be something that you're going to have to worry about. The microphone sounds awesome. Like, it's a fantastic microphone that sounds excellent. In fact, you cannot go wrong if you buy this microphone. And you're probably wondering why I'm using this microphone so close to my face without a pop filter. Well, that is because this microphone actually has a pop filter built in. This red LED thing that you are seeing right behind the wire mesh, there is a pop filter there, so you don't actually have to worry about buying a secondary pop filter. I mean, of course, you can. It helps if you do. And for plosive rejections, this microphone is going to do a really, really decent job. As you can hear right now, pronto, 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 pronto. It's probably rejecting plosives a lot better than any other microphone that you've heard me review without a pop filter. It sounds really, really good. So that is pretty much all my thoughts and everything there is to know about the HyperX Quadcast and the Quadcast S. If you'd like to purchase this microphone, I'm going to have links in the description for you to go check it out. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I guess I will see you on another video that was shot by Kagan. Peace.
The God of gods.